Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faith Black Lights, we take a look at this. And what this is from Merman's Revenge, it is the Honey Habanero Glaze. And of course, when we think of glaze, that's they're almost always mild. They tend to be very ultra sweet. So we've got broccoli, chicken, fish, a pig, shrimp, and a cow, I guess. I suppose. How much water did the cod ask server for? Just a splash. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's try to put that out of our memory. So we have honey, distilled vinegar, carrots, yellow bell pepper, mangoes, salt, red bell pepper, garlic, orange habanero mash way towards the back, orange peel powder. Apparently, and zenthegum. So this is a very mild sauce. One thing I'm noticing here, though, is that we have garlic kind of back there in the mix a little bit. And as you can see, I've already used quite a bit of this, because when I think glaze, I'm thinking meats. But I think most of the time glazes are baked on in an oven, and I thought I'd try it on a grill just to see what would happen as a grill sauce, I guess, as it were. Very vibrant orange from, I suppose, the orange habaneros, the mash, but maybe also from the orange peel powder, maybe. I don't know what that looks like. Could be from the carrots as well. Probably is actually from the carrots as well. And of course we have yellow and red bell peppers. And of course, as we all know, red and yellow makes orange. Nice flecks of stuff in there. Yeah, it's a very vibrant orange sauce. Almost too much for me, actually. It's a very, very bright orange sauce. Very pretty coloration. Orange habaneros are not my favorites, but well, let's just give this a whack and see just what we have here. Carrot and garlic, and there's a lot of sweetness from the honey, and maybe from the mangoes as well. A little bit of saltiness there. I will say that this bottle, the flavor has definitely changed a lot since when I first opened it. When I first opened it, it was super intensely garlic forward, almost to the point where I was like, oh, I don't know about this. This is something I am going to try on chicken as well down the road here a bit. But like I was saying, most of the time when we think of a glaze, we think of meats. And perhaps the most famous glaze is ham. So we've got ham on the grill, and I also threw in a pork chop as well. Just to kind of try this out. But most of the ham glazes I've had, like there's a red one, kind of a famous one. You get in grocery stores a lot. I find that one too sweet. So, one of the things with the ham glaze I think that you're going to want is, because ham is a salty, generally when you get it, it's a smoked meat as well. So you do have to have a good amount of sweetness. This is sweet, but it's not where I would consider most glazes in terms of sweetness. I actually thought this was a hot sauce when I first picked it up. And then when I started looking at the bottle, I'm like, oh, it's a glaze. I've never done one in this series before. No shortage of hot sauce, but that's good. I wish it was sweeter though. I'm going to be honest. I don't think this is sweet enough. Let's try the old pork chop here. Let's see, how do we do cooking it? Looks all right. So I usually make salt and pepper pork chops, unless I'm trying to test a sauce only. This time I really wasn't. I wanted to try to add it, you know, because pork can be a little bit plain if you don't gussy it up. And this isn't competing well with the salt pepper here, so I'm gonna throw a little bit more on. It's not as good. It's not bad. It's just not as good. I think having a nice bit of a fat component, and these are sort of lean chops, kind of helps things out. It's not bad. It's just not as good as a ham. And I obviously didn't need to cook the ham on the grill. It's already smoked, the one I got. But I like to throw a little bit on the grill, and I was trying to see what would happen, you know, just with the glaze on it. Definitely the ham is the winner here. And here's kind of a funny thing. I'm filming this in the summer. Just to give you an idea of how some of my videos go. I'm filming this in the summer with the intent of posting it around Christmas time. You know, for the sort of thematic business with the ham here. And a lot of my videos will be recorded and, you know, filmed, recorded, produced, rendered, and then they'll just essentially sit on my hard drive for a few months. Sometimes they sit on my hard drive for almost no time. You know, sometimes it's a day or two or three. In this case, it's going to be probably about 6 months, give or take. This is very, very nice though on the ham. I think this would work actually. It's just not quite sweet enough, so I think you need to probably add more honey to it, for me anyway, or maybe a little bit of brown sugar. With all this stuff in, you know, that's why I've seen a lot of honey habanero products this year, 2025. And honey is a very subtle flavor. And most of the time I see honey in something when it's paired with something else. it just stomps on the flavor of the honey. This one, again, just more generally sweet. So the inclusion of honey, I think, is probably just a trendy thing. Maybe they were going for a lighter sweetness. This definitely does need a lot more sweetness to it. Honey, I don't pick up. Mangoes, not particularly either. Garlic is definitely very forward. There is a little bit of the habanero flavor. Carrots as well. And then it's just kind of a general sweetness. I think it could be a lot heavier in terms of sweetness. I think that would be my preference anyway. Somewhere between this and like that red ham glaze or reddish ham glaze that you see on the grocery store shelves sometimes. To me, that is just way too aggressively sweet. I don't like that one either. Honestly, this I find kind of confusing. It is very mild. This is a heat of 0. There's no heat to this at all. Which kind of makes me wonder why bother using habanero. I mean, it says mild on the bottle, but if you're going to do that, there are a lot better tasting peppers out there that could have actually added something like a red Fresno, for instance. If you're not concerned about heat, why bother with habaneros in the first place? But more especially, why with the orange habaneros, which are assuredly not one of the better flavored variations of that pepper. Green, I don't think is either. It's definitely red habaneros is the one I really find somewhat enjoyable. So I'm just a little mystified. And I think part of the reason that the other glazes are colored the way they are is so they don't get lost. This one is very visually apparent on the pork chops, but it doesn't read as well visually on the ham steak. It kind of gets lost a little bit. So I'm just a tad confused as to what they're doing here with this, but flavor wise, it's not bad. It's again not really to my preference per se. I would want this. To me, a lot of problems here would be solved if they put like a light brown sugar in there and just gave it more sweetness. I think that would actually fix a lot of this. As is, this product it's just, I guess, kind of another glaze. It's just a different take on a glaze. Maybe that's what they meant. I don't know. It's fine. I don't use glazes hardly ever myself, but like I said, I thought it was a hot sauce actually when I picked it up. It's an interesting approach, but the end result is, given the ingredients there, is, I guess I would have expected something a little bit different than this. But if you want a more garlic forward glaze with a lighter sort of sweetness to it, this is probably the ticket. But if you want more of the sweetness that you typically find in glazes, I would say for this one, it's probably better off just keeping looking. Tastes okay, no heat in it, and we'll just leave it right there. So that was the Merman's Revenge Honey Habanero Glaze. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.